right.
Good.
No, man.
Here we go.
Yeah, we're in a truck.
Hey, cars.
Welcome back. Welcome to the FilmWheel podcast. I'm your host, Chris Johnson, and you're the host,
Chris Johnson.
No, there can't be two Chris Johnsons.
No.
That's ridiculous.
Joel West.
Well, we just watched Deadpool and Wolverine.
Is that what it was called?
Deadpool
not
is-
versus, right? Deadpool and.
Deadpool. Well,
They fought a number
now
of
that I
times.
say it, I don't actually know.
I think it's and.
It's probably and Deadpool and Wolverine, and we came right out here to the car.
Hey Siri.
No, that might have just activated the recording box.
Oh, we gotta make sure I didn't just ruin this. I'm still going.
Still going? No Siri?
No Siri.
Okay.
I mean, it might have popped up, but maybe it doesn't destroy a recording. Now we know.
Okay, good.
Now we have a funny little part to put in the video.
We sure do. Okay. So, last time I think we said whether we liked it or not. Just one word,
Oh, yeah.
and that's it. So,
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I thought it was okay.
Ah.
I don't like it that much.
Oh, no. Well, we got to stay positive. Last time I didn't like a movie. You made me stay positive. So,
we both didn't like it. I cannot like it and be positive
yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Look on the
Good.
bright side.
Okay, let's recap it.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I remember it, because I feel like there's a lot of things from this movie
Man, it was wacky.
that I don't remember. So tell me if I'm wrong.
Also things I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And I got a little lost a couple times, especially the beginning.
Okay, so so Deadpool, Wade
Yeah.
Wilson, begins the movie with his friends. Well, he's hung up his super suit, if you will, literally, in the CarMax, where he works in his...
What was it called?
DriveMax?
DriveMax. That was funny.
I love CarMax. Shout out to CarMax. But he's
so
not...
lip balm.
He's not doing it
Oh
anymore.
wait, no, they sell that's Carmex. And carry on.
Yeah. And so he doesn't do the superhero thing anymore, but we realize his true motivation is that, his girlfriend has left him. Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah,
The whole
were
thing's
you
gonna
like,
be
wait,
spoilers.
what? Were we? Did they? Like, I started questioning. Did they break up in the last movie? Where did this come from?
Was
But
she
they-
even in the second one?
Yeah,
She was?
yeah.
Okay. I don't really
she
remember.
She got shot, and the whole point of him doing the time thing was to come and fix that. But
So
my
she
guess
was in
is,
it.
yeah. And so when we found out, I know I'm kind of like, it's whatever.
It's okay.
I'm hijacking the recap a little bit because
Yeah.
I want to. This was my thought process during the beginning and all the setup and all that stuff. And so like I don't remember the last movie very well, and I didn't rewatch it.
You just
but
made
my
fun
thought
of me for not remembering it.
no, but I remember that she was in it. She was the point of the movie.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm realizing in this movie that clearly by this timeline when he's working at the lip balm company,
Yep.
Carmex,
Yeah.
DriveMax.
I mean, just look at his
selling
face.
cars,
Very
so,
dry
well,
lips.
but anyway,
I'm sure. I'm sure.
they have broken up, and I was thinking, just like, yeah, it probably was a result of all of the trauma.
I guess. She just couldn't
on
take
the
it
heels
anymore.
of last movie, which was confirmed in this movie because she said something like, he was like, "Are you seeing anyone?" And she said, "Blah blah blah," and he was like, "Well, he doesn't get me shot," or something like that. So
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I remember that.
I think they closed that loop in this
Okay.
movie. But
All
I
right.
was really confused at
Makes
first
sense.
because I was like, "Why are they not together?"
I was too a little bit.
I thought they were ride or
Did not
die.
remember
They are.
Well, they're not. So she's in it. They're not together. His true motivation, he wants her back. It's very clear, which I thought was
it, or
he wanted to be
was
with his. There were two. I think he had two motivations.
well, to save his friends,
He wanted to get back with her and save his friends,
his timeline.
his timeline. Oh, three motivations. Okay, maybe it's not as clear as I thought.
Well, his
get
friends.
the girl.
He didn't care
get his
about the
friends.
timeline.
His
only-
friends
insofar as
were
that
the
it
timeline.
Was the timeline?
It was reduced to his 9 friends.
Lord.
Okay, all right.
Words.
So he is then recruited by Paradox. Cool name. Kind of okay guy.
Matthew No, he's a phenomenon. He's yeah.
He's really
That
good.
actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
amazing.
mean, he was good, but I guess I've just never heard of his character before. His
the character of Paradox
was
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
He was a good actor.
Huge fan
sure.
of the actor.
Yeah. What else has he been in?
I mean, he's in Succession. That's I can
Oh.
like watching him in this. I can tell they only cast him because of how he.
The
just
amount of people
wrecked.
I have in my life telling me to watch Succession.
He
so
absolutely
this is
wrecked his character in Succession. It's incredible.
Okay.
Tom Wamsgans.
All right.
It's the
Matthew
best.
Nick
McFate.
actor guy. Yeah. He was good.
Mr. Darcy.
Yeah. Oh, it is Mr. Darcy. Oh, Elizabeth. Yes.
I'm so broody and completely opposite of this spastic goober character.
Why is it raining?
My shirt is open. Fluffy buff. I don't dance.
If I want to, but I will dance for
Carry
you
on.
now. So he wants him to go on a quest to end the timeline that Wade exists in, which I was then confused because I thought he was in the main timeline, but it makes sense that he wasn't, and I'll explain in a second. Okay, so maybe not. He's meeting with Happy Avengers Jon Favreau guy.
Yeah. To try to get in the Avengers, which I don't know why Jon Favreau is Avengers HR, but maybe because he's the one they could pay for.
I guess. But
And Sam Jackson is like, no.
But then why was he all of a sudden in a separate timeline?
I'm guessing
he was
because
in the main timeline.
no, because he screwed with time in Deadpool 2 to
Did
go
he then
and
put
save
himself in
another timeline. I assume. Maybe there was like a slight tweak
So he
of his
wanted to be
timeline.
in the Avengers.
Or he created a new timeline. I don't know, man. I kind of
Did you
watched
see where,
Loki.
Yeah, got a little... Loki didn't have any answers. I think you could not watch Loki and...
Yeah.
All right, so let's finish the recap.
Well, also, one more little tidbit on
Yeah.
that. So in, I don't know if it's Endgame or Infinity War, but where Tilda Swinton's bald character is talking about how when you make a change, you create a branch.
Split off a bunch of
So he
branches.
made a change in his timeline and created a branch, and I'm assuming they're off in that branch, and Matthew McDarcy wants to prune that branch.
Because he, in his corporate TVA environment, wants to get ahead, and that's what he's doing.
Was that why?
I think so. It's like,
know, man.
It's like, do something and apologize later. I'm gonna get to the top. Oh, he said it. He wants to be the TVA.
Oh, he wants to be the TVA.
He said that.
But why does pruning this one tiny little branch make him be the TVA?
I don't know.
Or is it just because he... Whatever.
Because he built a MacGuffin.
Really confusing.
Yeah. All right. So that's the setup. He's the bad guy, kind of. A little bit, question mark.
Yeah, it's...
He
we're in a
sets things in
postmodern
motion.
age where they're all heroes and anti-heroes and everyone's kind of
There
intertwined.
was a little bit of that. Well, that's always been Deadpool's shtick, I think. But what else happened? So he also, the reason the timeline needs to be pruned is that the main character in that timeline, they had a word for it. The anchor
person.
anchor hero. I don't know. Whatever.
Human anchor.
Died, and then because that anchor human died, the timeline would eventually die, but he said 2,000 years later, he's just ending it sooner. That character that died was Wolverine.
Was Logan. Which was it 2024? It might have been. Because Logan
took
like
place
6
now?
years ago or something. Might have.
It was like very post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, but it wasn't like super duper future.
No, well, that couldn't be now because everything's fine.
I have this little tick in my brain that Logan took place in 2024, and we watched that stupid movie in like 2016.
Man, it's been a while. It
You were
could be.
there.
I was there. We watched it. Yeah,
we did.
It was great.
It was. We had a huge crew of people.
Well,
Moving on.
So he needed to get a Logan, bring him into that timeline. There, boom, problem solved. You can't end this timeline. The movie's over.
So he went bouncing and jaunting around trying to find Logan.
Yeah, which is funny montage.
That was fine.
Yeah.
Silly.
There were a couple funny things. Short Logan was good there. That was funny.
Short Logan
Because
was funny.
I think the joke
Henry
is...
Cavill Logan was funny.
Henry Cavill Logan was good. I think the joke there was that in the comics, Logan is like 5'6".
Yeah, he's short.
And Hugh Jackman's like
6'2"
a huge jacked man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that wasn't a lot of CG, which we can't trust our eyes
Well,
anymore.
he's 75 now. It still looks great. he is. Okay, so he finds the right Wolverine, brings him into his timeline, and then that's not good enough because the guy still needs to get ahead. They get pruned. They go to the Loki world, which did you watch Loki?
The TVA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The TVA send him to
The
underground
Void.
Yeah, thank you.
That was in Loki?
Yeah. That's where the Void is established with a bunch of Lokis.
Remember who was there.
In Loki season 1, which they even
Was that
reference
season 1?
episode 5.
Great.
And then
Good job.
from then,
Marvel, we're all following everything you do, MCU. Way to go.
many jokes on that. Yeah. Well, the only reason I knew season 1, episode 5 is because he said that in the... Okay, all right.
He
I'm
did.
pretty sure you follow. What happened then, I don't remember. They get out. There is Captain Picard's sister, I guess.
Professor X's sister
from the womb is alive
twin
in the void.
Who tried to strangle him with her umbilical cord. It didn't work.
I guess.
Oh, wow.
That was... Okay, that's probably something from an obscure comic. I don't know but where that came from, but okay, sure. She's the true bad guy. She gets them out of the void. I'm skipping a couple things, and then the rest of the movie happens. I don't think we need to recap it from there, but like, what am I forgetting? Once they escape the void,
she got them out of the void. I think that was when I went to take a bathroom break.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything because they when you went to the bathroom, they were sitting around a fire.
Yeah,
and for some reason,
with X-20 Logan girl, Wolverine.
But his sleeves are ripped off in that scene for some reason, and then they're back in the next scene.
Oh,
I don't know. It was a weird thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
They ended up being gone again later. I remember thinking,
oh, were they gone after that?
Arm, yeah.
I don't know.
Tank top Wolverine.
Well, I think there was a controversy that. His arms in the first trailer maybe he was not wearing the sleeves, or he was.
This is actual a thing?
I think this is a thing.
Okay.
Check me internet, but his arms weren't big enough maybe, so they CG'd the sleeves on. I think. I don't know. I remember
just CG bigger arms on. Whatever.
I don't know.
Do anything nowadays.
We'll get to the ending, but then the rest of the movie happens. The end. I had fun. It was not the best movie after Endgame, which is, I think, what I want to talk about first is the hype around this movie. There's been a lot of hype.
Oh, everyone talking about how it's like the best Marvel movie.
Yes. Would you agree that this is like the biggest hype for a Marvel movie in a while?
Maybe.
I have a drink here.
I think a fascinating, fun meta fact is that it surpassed. So all the jokes about it being Marvel Jesus ended up being kind of predictive for the real world, because The Passion of the Christ has been the top-grossing R-rated movie since it came out, and this passed it.
Interesting. A lot of sacrilegious imagery in this movie, too. We don't have to talk about that. But
there's a lot of sacrilegious imagery in The Passion of the Christ, but that gets really meta.
Well, Moving on. Does, I guess. But, man, so I didn't think about that. What were we talking about first? The hype?
We're talking about the hype. So, yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe I just haven't seen a ton of stuff for it. But I feel like maybe there's been more marketing heft behind this than there have been on any, aside from Spider-Man. Any Homecoming? No, not Homecoming.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Homecoming. Yeah, that's one.
That had a big marketing hype. But the rest of the Marvel movies have felt a little bit like, Marvel's just like, here you go, Earth. We're still making movies. Here, movie. But this one, they definitely were like, hey, we're
resetting things. We're starting over.
We're paying for, stars.
For our sins is what they're doing.
We're paying for Hugh Jackman and, maybe some surprises.
Which there were a couple. Okay. So, I don't know. I mean, I heard good things. We're watching this 2 weeks after it opened?
2, 3, something like that.
I don't know. So, it's made a lot of money,
mm-hmm.
I've heard. It's gotten pretty good reviews.
Passion of the Christ money.
Yeah, it's right at the top of the R-rated world, I guess.
Whee!
And... So, I don't think it holds up to that. It was fun. It was definitely better than, The Eternals. It was definitely better than...
Skip that one.
Shang-Chi, which actually was one of my favorites recently.
Skip that one. No, I saw that one, but I don't remember anything happening.
Yeah. But, not as good as Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and not as good as Spider-Man, I would say. Those are probably the two best. But
I'll give you those.
Here's a weird thing. They're definitely tapping into the nostalgia of Endgame, which was only 6 years ago. Do you find it strange that we're
was it
6 years?
Okay.
5 years maybe? 2019, 2024?
No, it's 2018, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, whatever. 5 or 6 years. That's a really short timeline to have nostalgia, isn't it? What is that? What's happening there?
You're asking a pretty big existential question. I don't know. I think, that push of the MCU with a few missteps, but very few, toward Endgame was just amazing and historic as far as films go, and certainly franchises, and certainly comic book movies. But I genuinely think they haven't had any real vision since then, and they still don't. And it's, again, this movie had a lot of meta commentary about that. Like, I think him literally addressing
how bad the multiverse
the multiverse and being like, it's not working.
Yeah,
we get it. Like,
the main plot device in this movie, they're like deconstructing in a couple scenes, not the whole time.
Yeah,
because it was terrible. That's the worst part of whatever this is, Phase 4 of the MCU, is that the multiverse is inconsistent. Like, the rules change in every movie. There's nothing cohesive throughout it.
And then shows, like...
There's too many shows to follow along. There's... Like, they have the ability to explore... And this movie finally does it. Explore some, like, interesting people you could bring together through the multiverse. But they didn't... Like, they've wasted so much opportunity with it. Yeah. And it makes everything inconsequential. Like, every final, action in a movie is like can be reversed in the
and I also just don't think that people want this from movies, man. Like, I don't like...
They want their time to mean something. You spend 2 hours in a movie theater, you want it to like be somewhat
also
final.
It doesn't like the absolute interconnectedness of all of this nonsense in the multiverse that maybe they were hoping would pay off. But the thing is, like, there's so much content out there, and it's like, how much of it do you have to absorb for any of this to be meaningful or impactful or make sense? And exactly what you said, I think, is extremely relevant. Like,
thanks.
At the point where you can just like, Logan died, great, let's exhume his remains, which granted they couldn't,
were very self-aware.
They couldn't bring those remains back to life, so I give them credit for him not being able to revive Logan's adamantium skeleton. That was fun. Him sitting there by the skeleton, sitting there beside the skeleton.
There were some nice
was
moments.
Super funny.
Yeah. Dead Wolverine. With Deadpool and Dead Wolverine.
There were definitely moments, like, we started this with me saying I didn't like it. I didn't really like it, and I probably...
Well, tell me why. Tell me, what was the biggest reason that you walked out of here to here?
I guess when we got to the Void and, like, all the Mad Maxy vehicles start driving around, and I'm just like, it just felt like, this movie is nothing but...
fan service.
One vignette after another of, here we are in our next little, where we're going to set up a bunch of gags, and it's just completely preposterous and out of left field, and like some of the fan service hits me and some of it doesn't, and I'm sure they kind of design it and focus group it that way, but for the most part I'm just like, ugh. Yeah. Like, here's just another weird environment where a bunch of zany crap's going to happen, and
who directed this movie?
I don't know.
It didn't have like a strong directorial sense about it.
No, I mean, I really loved the first two movies. I think they had a great sense of themselves.
And
they had a good, like, solid through line. Like, the plot line was pretty simple. I'm gonna save my universe, but you can fit an awful lot of crap in I'm gonna save my universe, and you can spin off and do like anything, anywhere. And yeah, it didn't feel cohesive in that regard. There were certainly little funny parts that I laughed at that were good.
Can I tell you my two favorite funny parts?
Yeah, let's hear it.
The Amazon Fire phone reference.
That was very funny.
For some reason, was so funny. I haven't heard the Amazon Fire phone referenced in 10 years.
I'm kind
of
wondering
why that one hit so hard.
If you know how, like, Apple doesn't let villains have iPhones.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if that was part of it.
Maybe.
Like, they had to just be like, you obviously don't have an iPhone, and so I'm going to make fun of the fact that you have another phone, and what's funnier than Amazon Fire? I mean, he could have said, like, Windows Phone.
It'd be like the Microsoft Zune or something, but,
that's not as funny
I guess.
as Amazon
Fire
phone.
I don't know.
So, I don't know if there's a specific, like, Amazon dig at all, but I also just thought it was funny, just because it was funny.
It was just a nice little sharp thing. And then the second thing was Chris. Okay, huge spoiler, but Chris Evans is in the movie.
This was very good.
This one was good. And then you think he's gonna say the line, and then nope, he says "flame on," and he's the Human Torch. Come on, that was
very good.
That was good.
I'll give you that.
But I would agree with you that there wasn't like it felt different than the others because it felt like it was like carrying a lot of weight with it, and it didn't have a strong sense of what kind of story it was, and it did feel like you're going from like scene to scene to scene to scene, and there were fun stuff within them. You could probably cut like one of the Deadpool and Wolverine fight scenes out of it like completely. Those were that fun to me, because like once you realize that Wolverine is stronger than Deadpool and they're not evenly matched, I don't know, then I guess it's not, from just a purely physical standpoint, it's not that interesting.
Sure.
Because he just lopped his head off, right?
Yes. I kind of wonder, he wouldn't grow his head back?
I don't think so.
Is that his thing?
Maybe I'm wrong. I was thinking, in the beginning of this movie, I thought they were kind of evenly matched. But then Wolverine has the adamantium skeleton, so you can't really, like, chop a thing off. So
I thought
Deadpool
that Wolverine
doesn't,
could
but
be, like, pretty close to atomized and still survive. Like, even when the dude said it would atomize you, I was like, big deal, he's Wolverine. Like, he'll, like, one atom, the largest remaining atom will regenerate.
Would it regenerate without the adamantium skeleton if that was gone?
Yeah, it would. I assume so. Because it's healing. The adamantium skeleton has nothing to do with his powers. It's just
the science experiment.
Yeah, it's because he could, survive the experiment. So that's why they gave it to him. But I don't know. I'm not enough of a nerd.
Wolverine is a more interesting character.
But to your point, Deadpool. Like, I kind of wonder, one of the reasons I feel like the 1 and 2 were good is because they were pretty self-contained.
Yeah.
And like the second one specifically grabbed Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Is that
Mega Boom. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah.
But otherwise, it stayed self-contained. It's like, whereas this one was like, well, now we're dropped into the MCU, so we have exactly 1 billion other pieces and things to reference.
To connect, and it feels heavy. Like it feels like you're like dragging a thing, a dying thing along with you.
Like the other ones were kind of playful, and you're like, great, here we are with a new, fresh character.
Kind of like Ant-Man, where the stakes are smaller.
You can make some kind of meta comments. Like, I loved that it was literally happening when it was pretty like right after or even during Infinity War, right? When Deadpool 2 came out. Because Cable
2016
is Josh Brolin, and Thanos is Josh Brolin, and he called him Thanos like 3 times in the movie. Which
this movie?
No, in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
He calls Cable Thanos, and which I thought was fantastic.
That was good.
And of course they make DC references all the time too, because it's whatever. Which there were some fun ones in this one too.
Yeah,
with Henry Cavill, I liked that.
That was good. I totally agree. If it I'm agreeing with myself. I think actually.
Hey, good job.
I agree with me. The end.
I win.
I think they tried to reduce the scale of it by like referencing the picture with his 9 friends on it like multiple times. Like no, it's not. The big scale end of the universe type thing that I think everybody's sick of. It's my 9 friends, but essentially it was, and it because even the scale got widened at the end because they were going to kill his timeline. Okay, that's his motivation, and then they're going to kill all the timelines, every timeline except for the Void. So, kind of talking myself into not liking this quite as much the more that I think about it.
My bad.
There are definitely some redeeming things. Some of the jokes were good. What did you like? What was the thing you liked?
What did I like? I just like some of the gags. I liked. I think we've covered a lot of them. The Chris Evans switcheroo was just very, very funny, and it makes me want to go back and watch Fantastic Four, which I haven't seen for 20 years. How old is that movie even?
2003 or 4?
So 20-ish years.
Yeah, so probably. I doubt that one's very good. I haven't watched that in forever.
Oh, you mentioned the fight scenes. I really liked the fight scene where Wolverine and Deadpool were fighting all the Deadpools. And what it reminded me of is, I don't know if you ever played it, but the X-Men side-scroller.
They did have a constantly
I think that was the big reference.
Okay.
And I also think it drew a lot from Kung Fury. Remember Kung Fury from
a
couple years ago?
Yeah. I didn't like that fight scene. I don't know why.
You didn't?
I didn't think they like made the different Deadpools distinct enough, other than like, okay, you got to have a samurai Deadpool and you got to have a.
Well, I was watching Anchor.
But if I would have
Deadpool,
rewatched it with that side scroller kind of video game mindset, I think it would have been a little bit more fun.
I just thought it was actually fun. Like, I appreciate that there's a lot of artistry that goes into choreographing this stuff and creativity. There's a lot. There's an awful lot happening with it.
Yeah.
And they do it intentionally. Like, that's one of Marvel's shticks. It's like, oh, it's time for them to finally fight! And everyone gets so excited. They're going to use their powers together! Because it's what, every, like...
It's why we give them money.
Dorky Gen X and Millennial has been talking about forever. Is I wish we could see blah, 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 blah fight. It's the reason people go to see these movies.
Yeah.
So, yes, X-Men... we're finally going to get a good Wolverine and Deadpool fight, because we got one in Wolverine Origins, but it was...
not the same.
I don't really remember it, honestly.
No.
I just thought that this one in particular was unique because they picked a shtick and they stuck with it, and it was kind of funny. It would like push off to the left, and then like at one point they're pushing everyone
20
together.
of them rush out of the frame and they kind of come back in.
So it was funny and goofy and fun.
The fight scene, I think my favorite fight scene was when Elektra.
Blade?
Wesley Snipes Blade.
Gambit.
Why am I saying Quentin Tarantino? What's his name? Charlie Theron.
No, he has two first names.
Channing Tatum. There it is.
Channing Tatum.
Caitlin
Channing.
Which I think the internet
Dermot McTatum. Rooney.
He has a dumb
Tatum.
I guess everybody's wanted him to be Gambit.
It looks
but
a lot like
5
Gambit.
years ago, and then they made it happen here.
I really liked Gambit when I was a kid.
6 people were like, "Yay!"
And
that was a fun character.
And he was a little badass fighting.
Well, they all were. I think that actually was like there were a lot of jokes at Fox, as well as Disney in this. Probably went a little harder at Fox, but they allowed those characters to have a nice moment. That felt like they didn't get. A closure maybe to their character, and for whatever reason this movie gave them a nice send-off where they were all pretty awesome in a battle scene, including Jennifer Garner, who's not young. Wesley Snipes is super old,
also not young.
And I don't know, that was a fun fight scene.
Channing Tatum is still youngish.
He was pretty badass in this movie.
He did great. Also funny, so Ryan Reynolds was in Blade 2, and there was a little reference in there too. So,
was he?
Yeah, because like he said something along the lines of...
Was he playing Deadpool?
No. He was just some like side character. I don't remember. I barely remember. But now I want to go back and watch it. But he said something to Blade along the lines of, "You never really liked me," which was a direct reference to Blade 2.
Okay, all right. Then
which I thought was funny. Well, because when I saw Wesley Snipes, I was like, is he supposed to be Blade? Because I didn't remember that Blade was a Marvel character.
Yeah.
So it took me a little bit to connect the dots, but...
I think there's another
when
Blade
I came back
movie.
and asked you, is that Blade? You're like, yeah, Wesley Snipes. And I was like, oh, yeah, Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few Blade
Blades. So, I like that. That was fun.
He's a vampire.
Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. I don't think it's... Going back to the hype, I think it is a fine movie. Ryan Reynolds, what else can you say? He was Ryan Reynolds in this movie. It's fun to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again, because I would say there's no other actor who is as iconic in his role besides maybe Robert Downey Jr.
In the MCU?
No, just like in all of comic book dumb, right?
Michael Keaton is Batman, but that's okay.
I mean, he's great, but
coming from an old guy.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
I would say not as good as the hype is like building this movie up to be.
Nah.
So I don't know what's next for Marvel. Nah. I mean, there were so many jokes at Marvel within this, but it's like, okay, what's next? What do you guys got? Just take a break. So that's where the what's coming next? Fantastic Four is coming out next. They're probably going to bring back X-Men at some point through Marvel. Here's what, Marvel, if you're listening...
Here's what you should do.
Here's what you should do. Don't attach it to the MCU.
Back the F off.
Yeah, just
slow your roll.
Thing. I think Fantastic Four is going to be in the 60s.
Ooh.
Which is actually kind of interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Modern
But they're going to give it some TVA nonsense, and they're going to have visitors.
You know what the TVA is?
I have a hard time.
It's a meta, like, way for Marvel to address their own mistakes with the movie. It's like, and...
No, it's just the big cheat. It's the big cleanup cheat. Like,
I know,
as long as you have time and interdimensional travel...
That's what I'm saying.
You can fix any problems or plot holes.
And then they can just wink at the camera. You know? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
so...
like,
it just makes it feel cheap. The stakes are super low.
Yeah.
Like, Marvel, just ditch all this nonsense and walk some things back. And like,
just don't connect it to anything.
Just
do an isolated thing.
Yeah.
So I think doing it in the 60s is probably their way of doing that. Right?
I don't trust them, but...
I don't either. I mean, they're going to have to...
I mean, they did Captain Marvel in the 80s or 90s or...
That was Wonder Woman.
No, Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They went back. They
Yeah.
DH'd. Yeah, because it's just whatever. They'll DH whoever they want.
They sure can now.
Can't find any new actors.
So that's my big request. No more interconnectedness, but I don't think they're doing it because, I mean, the news is... Have you heard that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Dr. Doom?
Yes, I have.
So... Just stop. I mean, they're gonna probably keep losing some. Well, they're not gonna keep losing money, I guess. This movie's making a lot of money, so maybe I'm wrong. I don't know anything.
As long as
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Disney,
Marvel, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I don't have Disney Plus, and I never get it again. Sorry, guys.
I'm excited to. Yeah, still have it. To one day show my son, like, the 10 best movies in the original MCU leading up to Endgame.
Here's Iron Man.
That's going to be awesome.
This was a great movie.
But I'm not going to show him this movie. And I'm not going to show him a lot of the other ones. So, okay. Well, that's a podcast. Do you have any final thoughts? What would you give it? How many, what do we do? We have honks or steering wheels or wheels. Is it steering wheels?
I think it's steering wheels.
I think it should have been honks all along, and then I wait till somebody comes by and we blast them. No, that's rude. Okay,
we can add it in post.
What was was it 4
steering wheels?
How many? Out of what?
No, it's not. It's not out of anything.
Oh, it's funny.
You just give it a number
because there's no scale.
Yeah, you
that's
just
what
give
makes
it a number.
Funny.
Steering wheels. How many steering wheels do you give it? I give it 2.
I'm gonna give it
2 steering wheels.
6.
Okay, 6 works.
6. But you don't know what it's out of, so you can like infer that it's
might
out
not
of 10.
even be out of steering wheel. Could be 6 steering wheels out of a bag of popcorn.
Hey.
5 more!
So Marvel, thanks, I guess. You could have done a lot worse. You put some effort into it.
You did great with Deadpool 1 and 2, though. Those were great.
That was Fox.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's the whole point of this movie.
No, it's a Marvel character, but yeah, it's not the
right.
Yeah,
okay.
Not Disney. I don't know who we're addressing. Who we're laying the blame on, Marvel or Disney.
I don't know. That's the thing. You don't. Whenever anything bad happens in the world, you never know who to blame. You know, just gets hid behind a faceless bureaucracy.
Ron Paul.
Yeah. And the gold standard and audit the Fed. That's what I think that would really root out the
probably
the ineptness of storytelling these days is the damn Federal Reserve.
But we came to see a movie. Oh, and we tried to go see this at Alamo Drafthouse.
Well, yeah,
and didn't succeed, but we were excited that it has reopened as of a few days ago.
Yeah. I wanted to say, hey, Alamo Drafthouse is back, and we're not at it.
We are not.
Because we waited till last night to buy tickets for
Studio
this.
Movie Grill, which is also okay.
It's okay, but it's packed.
Yeah, it's packed.
I mean, if you look around, like this, last time we were at Alamo, there was no one there, and so I guess they're all here to see movies, which is good.
I mean, I think we went on like a Tuesday or something.
Okay, probably. This is a Saturday
it is
night.
A Saturday night.
So, and while we're talking about Studio Movie Grill, the film was out of focus the entire time.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I almost thought about asking a server, can you go adjust
Can
the
you run
focus?
up there real quick and swivel the little focus ring?
It was like it was so bad that you kind of didn't notice it after a while,
text.
but you couldn't even read the in-credit text. Like, so Studio Movie Grill,
you got something wrong.
You get 0 steering wheels, okay? So, next movie we see, we're back at Alamo.
Beer was good. Your beer was good?
Yeah.
I had Buffalo.
They didn't make that.
Buffalo Blue chips.
Were they good?
They were really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, the food at Alamo at the end,
the price
before
was
they
good
went
too.
out, was crap. So,
yeah, it was. Hopefully they'll fix
yeah.
that. Anyway,
okay.
All right.
We'll be back. We'll be back. Right?
Right.
Okay. All right. See ya.
Yeah.